Hi, I'm Karin and I'm in Germany today talking about my new book, Fractured. And this idea for me started with wondering if someone was capable of murder. And that's a question I think a lot of people ask themselves, is what would I do if my life was threatened or the life of someone I love was threatened? And I created a character named Abigail Campano who comes home after being at the tennis courts all day, and she finds a body in her house and thinks it's her daughter. And it takes off from there. I hope you enjoy reading about it as much as I enjoyed writing it. My favorite character in the Will-Trent series generally is Will-Trent because I think he's so fascinating. And women often ask me, how do you make a man that women love so much? And I say it's simple, just make him wash dishes every once in a while. But in Fractured we meet Faith Mitchell, and Faith eventually becomes Will's partner at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. And I really love writing about her because she's very cranky and pragmatic, but there's this underlayer to her where she's a very gentle person. And I think that's because at the age of 14, while she was in high school, she got pregnant, then she had a child at 15, and now she's 33 and her son is 18, and her worst fear is that she'll be 34 and a grandmother. And I just find that fascinating to think about and horrific as a woman. Fortunately, that hasn't happened to me. Unfortunately, I'm not 33 anymore. But I love talking through her voice because I think sometimes she has some really important things to say. I don't see anything romantic ever happening with Will and Faith. I think that they're probably too different. And I think in many ways, Faith looks at men in two ways. She either wants to mother them or push them away. And so for her, meeting Will is a new challenge because he won't be mothered. He's never been mothered. And he won't be pushed away. And he started his career at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, getting all the really crappy jobs. And one of the crappy jobs he had was investigating Faith's mother, who is also a police officer, for corruption. And Faith's mother ended up being pushed out of the police force. So obviously Faith has a lot of resentment toward Will because of that. But the thing about Will is he's used to people not liking him when he meets them. And so he works very carefully and very respectfully to earn Faith's trust and eventually her respect. And that, to me, is what makes their relationship so fascinating, because they're sort of like brother and sister. Well, the big difference touring in Germany is that I tour with two German people. Nina Petrie, who is the person who reads my CDs, and there's another woman named Regula who moderates the whole thing and keeps it going, which makes it a lot of fun and easy for me because usually when I'm in America, all of that is on my shoulders, and so I can just sort of sit back sometimes and listen to Nina read. But the audiences are never different, and I found this almost in every country I've gone to, because people who go to bookstores and go to book events love reading. And that is a sheer pleasure for me, to be surrounded by people who are like me in many ways. You know, they have authors they love, they have books they love, and they want to talk about books. And that's just a wonderful thing. And especially now, I think the world can all agree that none of us are in great financial straits right now. And a book is such an inexpensive form of entertainment. And to have that and share it with other people is a real gift for me. Well, a question most authors get asked is, where do you get your ideas? And I always think, I have no idea. And I know a lot of authors, and they also think, I don't know where an idea comes from. Usually it's just sitting around and wondering about something. So if you ever see an author staring blankly out a window, they're actually working. So maybe leave them alone for a few minutes because they're probably coming up with a really good book. The next book that I've written is called Genesis, and that combines Grant County and Will-Trent's world, and I love bringing them together. I knew when I was writing my fourth book, Indelible, that there were a lot of changes coming to Grant County, and so when I wrote the next book after that, Triptych, which features Will-Trent, I was very aware that eventually Will would meet Sarah, and part of his world would change because of that. Now, readers should know not to think they know what's coming next, because I think I've proven that I'm capable of writing very unexpected plot twists. But I love the idea of someone like Sarah meeting Will, because she's a doctor. and she knows his dyslexia isn't a sign that he's a lesser person. And so for him to meet someone who doesn't use the fact that he's dyslexic as a reason to feel sorry for him or make excuses for him or denigrate him, as Angie Pulaski, Will's fiance, does, is a sort of frightening thing for Will. And, people don't change easily. It's much easier to stay the same, even if it's awful. And Will certainly is in an awful position as far as his love life. But he's also been with Angie Pulaski more than half of his adult life. So readers need to keep in mind that things aren't ever easy in my books. But I think Genesis gives a good beginning to what I hope will be many, many enjoyable stories.